Hello, everybody. My name is Danny. Um, Today I'm going to be doing a little food review. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Um, I just want to timestamp this video. So today is Saturday, February 9, 2019. It's 1:09 a.m. here, so that's a Friday night. So yeah, so it's kind of fun to do, or a little strange maybe to do some baking on a Friday night, but sometimes when you get so busy with doing other things, um, baking is kind of a bit lower on your priority, and sometimes you only have time when everything else is over with, which means late into the evening. So, a little bit about myself. I live in Canada. I live on the easternmost part of Canada, which is a province called Newfoundland. Yeah, and for those who follow my YouTube channel, my YouTube videos, I do all types of um, genres of YouTube videos, video logs, vlogs, vlogs, whatever you want to call it, opinions, everything. Every once in a while, I do a review. Could be a movie review, a movie review, a TV review, or a food review, or whatever. Today I'm good. Like I said, it's going to be a food review. So let's see what we got here. So, yeah. So um, this is the company of this is um, Pillsbury. So everyone knows Pillsbury, the Pillsbury Doughboy. And what we have here, they call it milk chocolatey chip cookies. Pillsbury milk chocolate chip cookies. So, um, like I actually don't do um, very much. I don't do very much baking, if at all, and I'm sort of just getting into it. I do like snacks because um, after supper, there's quite a few hours until I go to bed at nighttime, and sometimes I'm studying, doing schoolwork, and you sort of need that extra boost of energy, right? Or you get hungry, or you're watching TV, or you're doing something, you kind of get hungry. So I usually have, for me, it's almost a necessity to have these snacks ready. And so um, for me, it's kind of weird because, like cookies are like a go-to snack for me. Like, who doesn't like cookies? But um, it's like it's fine to just go to a store, like, a convenience store, a corner store, or a grocery store and just buy cookies that have already been made. But like, isn't it so much better to be able to like bake your own cookies and, get them out of the oven hot and put them into your mouth when they're still nice and warm, sort of that feeling. That makes such a big difference. That's why people like baking, right? So, like, I'm not that, I'm a very, I really don't bake. Um, I don't do very much baking at all. So this was a good start for me where it's basically, it's not like I have to like mix like eggs and flour and um, vanilla and go through the trouble of all of that, where I can just kind of, this is basically, I'm kind of thinking it's probably just what they call cookie dough, right? So it's pre-made cookie dough, and all I got to do is sort of just put it together and pop it in the oven, and that's it. But like I said, it's still better than buying a something that's already been cooked out of the store or whatever, right? It's nicer to have that warm sort of taste to it. At least that first time. Um, once you just assuming you're eating it right out of the oven, right? Okay. So I've never like baked this type of product before. So like I know I said I'm going to review this, but we're going to go through the whole process of baking it together. And it's not that long. Um, the whole process is, just like a few minutes long. So um, I think it'll be interesting to go through the process together of sort of putting it all together. So the first thing it says here is heat 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 oven to 350 Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. Um, or it says or 325 Fahrenheit, 160 Celsius for non-stick cookie sheet. So I guess the reason that they gave two temperatures is because some ovens vary, with what one temperature is for one. Another oven may have the same digits, but it might actually be hotter or colder, right? So I've already preheated mine. Mine's ready to go. I picked 350 Fahrenheit. And the second step here says um, it says here um, spoon dough by table spoon dough by tablespoonfuls 2 inches apart onto ungreased cookie sheet. Okay, and there's another note later on that I read that actually says um, to bake. A later note later on says to bake half of dough, cover remaining half with plastic wrap, use within 2 days. So that's basically what I'm going to do. Is I'm only going to use or bake half of this, and then as I said, and I'm just going to put the rest of it in plastic and put the rest in the fridge, and I'm going to eat these first, and then once they're eaten, I'll go into the fridge and bake the other half. So yeah, so spoon those. So it says sort of it recommends like putting it in one of those um, cookie sheets, which I actually have. So let's do that. So let's see there. Okay, so here's my cookie sheet. Now, let's see if I can get the right angle here. Good angle. Angles are difficult. Yeah, I think I did it. Okay. This is a good angle, camera angle here. Okay. So, I'm going to put some foil over this. Foil, aluminum wrap, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and let's make some let's cut these up. All right. So I think I'm going to use a butcher knife just out of experience with these types of packaging. I find the butcher knife thing is quite effective. And got my little cutting board. You guys can see that. Yeah, you guys can see that. So here, here's a good way to start it. Well, it says 2 inches apart, right? So I'm not that good with measurements in my head. So I have a little rule. I have a little ruler here, right? So 2 inches would be about there. Does that make sense though? Because it actually says, I got confused because it actually says, in the end, it says makes 16 cookies. So if I separate this by spoon dough by tablespoonfuls 2 inches apart, spoon dough by tablespoonfuls 2 inches apart onto, if I did this 2 inches apart, 2 inches, and then like another 2 inches, so that's 2 inches, another 2, that's 2 pieces, 3 pieces. I'd only have like 4 pieces. So how can 4 pieces make 16 cookies? It's just strange. I think I'm going to have to play this by ear because those numbers don't really make sense to me. Alright? So, if I stick to the 2 inches, I see what they're telling me. So here, and got my tablespoon here. So two inches. What do they mean by that? 2 inches. Is 2 inches a diameter maybe? Oh well, I'm just gonna use my own common sense with this, right? So let's say I'm just gonna cut it like this. Another one. Here I have some extra. So what I'll do here is sure you guys can see what I'm doing. It's just another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more here. Well, the thing is that I'd like to kind of save the instructions, because I'm not going to be able to memorize that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the packaging off so I can save the instructions on it. Here, 1, 2, I think I'm going to make 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's try. One, two, three, 4. I'm gonna have to make this one here. Just all the leftovers here. That takes care of those leftovers, I think. Not waste any of this. And like I said, we're going to make 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make one more. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now I know why people like eating cookie dough. Uniquely. Or exclusively. It is a good taste, right? And it says here that yeah, I'm lucky that I saved the instructions, right? About 10 to 13 minutes. So bake this about 10 to 13 minutes. So, well, my oven rack is at the bottom for something else that I was cooking the other day. So you want to typically have your oven rack in the middle height, right? So okay. And I'm going to time it. And in 10 to 13 minutes it'll be ready. I also just wanted to talk about a little bit about why I picked these in particular, because when you go to that section, when you go to when you go to that section of the grocery store, for all of the stuff like the cookie dough and Pillsbury stuff, there's so much stuff. Like not only the stuff to make like wiener wraps, but you have all these types of desserts, right? Croissants. You have turnovers, strawberry turnovers, apple turnovers. You have different types of cookies, right? Um, Typically I was going to get just a normal chocolate chip cookie, which are great, right? But this one here is labeled as milk chocolate chip cookies. Now that seemed appealing to me because I've never really actually tasted something that was labeled as milk chocolate chip cookies, but I'm assuming that when I taste it in another 10 minutes, like it'll have that tasty sort of like milky, soft, kind of creamy sort of taste to it, um, which is kind of why people like to eat chocolate chip cookies with milk, right? And to dip it in, sort of, or kind of like that creamy sort of taste to a cookie or a chocolate chip or whatever. So when I come back in 10 minutes and I do the taste test, I'll see if I can taste that milk chocolate chip cookies. So what they're saying on the label and how they're marketing it, I'm gonna tell you guys if that's actually what I'm tasting, right? Or if it's just a marketing ploy, if it's fake or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna come back in. It says 10 to 13, but I'm probably going to use 10 minutes because I don't want to overcook the cookies. I don't like to overcook anything for many reasons, um, including cookies. So in order to avoid overcooking, you always want to take the most minimal number. So 10 to 13. So like I said, I'll pick the 10. So in 10 more minutes, I'll be back and I'm going to give you guys a look at the finished product and a taste test in my review. Okay, see you soon. Hey people, so I'm back. They're almost ready. They're almost ready. A couple seconds to go. Couple seconds to go. Countdown. A few more seconds. Got the glove ready. Got the glove ready. Few more seconds. Okay, interesting. So, I'm going to stop my oven because sometimes I forget that. Okay, now this is interesting because what I did was I told you guys that usually, I'm sort of definitely no chef or anything. I'm just a very lay person when it comes to cooking in general. But I hate any type of food that's overcooked for many reasons, right? It's dried out or burnt or whatever. So I usually this oven is pretty good. It's pretty modern. It's pretty new, so I don't have any issues with like the temperature discrepancy or whatever. So usually if they like I said, if they give you a range, I usually go for the minimal range, that minimal number, and I'm usually okay. So when I told you before that this, as if the instructions here say 10 to 13, so 10 to 13, so I would normally do the 10 minutes. However, because I'm sort of because I'm on camera, I didn't want to risk it because I picked actually the higher range, which is 13 minutes, because the reason I did that was because if I bring out the cookies and they're not cooked, you know, I taste them and they're not cooked, they're raw in the middle, you know, the dough is, you know, not cooked or whatever, then I'm screwed, right, for the video. Then I would have to, you know, stick them back in the oven, and it would sort of mess up the video. So I knew that if I put the 13, at least they would be like thoroughly cooked. I don't think that I would really overcook them. But it's interesting because remember when I talked about there was confusion, and remember the instructions here says it says spoon dough by tablespoonfuls 2 inches apart onto ungreased cookie sheet. Okay, I think I know what that means now, right? 2 inches apart. So what that means is that if, let me see here. Get a good angle here. Yeah. So if you look at my cookie sheet, right, you'll notice how all of the cookies are really close to each other. They're kind of like too close to each other. They're almost like crowded or cooking. They're almost glued. Looks like they're glued together, right? So that's not good, right? So what they meant by 2 inches apart is that when you're cooking, when you're putting the cookie dough, you're cutting it or whatever, and you're putting it on the sheet before it goes in the oven. What they mean is put them on the cookie sheet 2 inches apart, because when they're in the oven, they're going to expand, right? And you don't want them to be kind of glued together for different reasons, right? So I think you guys can see how they're they're too glued together, right? Okay. So, yeah, now the taste test. I also wanted to just say that, like, over the 13 minutes that it was in the oven cooking, it smelled great. It's just the most amazing smell. The smell like cookie dough baking in the oven. It's the greatest, most delicious smell, right? And so it says here, it says cool for 1 minute. It says bake 10 to 13 minutes or until edges are golden brown. Cool 1 minute. Remove from cookie sheet. Make 16 cookies. Make 16 cookies. So we are going to do a little taste test. And yes, it's very, very soft. See how when I'm like trying to pick it up, cookie kind of like falls apart? Maybe if I let it cool down a little longer, then the cookie will sort of solidify a little more, right? And then it won't fall apart like this. But I don't think it's supposed to fall apart like this, though. But remember, I cooked it in the higher range, right? So, might it also be because when I cut up the dough, maybe I cut it up a little too thin. Maybe I should have cut it thicker, because my cookies are quite thin. Maybe it's because they're too thin, right? But this part of the cookie is not falling apart. It's actually quite hard, right? There's just some parts. But regardless, it is delicious. So, I have a little bit of coffee here. Coffee is a good drink to wash this down. So, remember when I said, like, am I going to taste that milky sort of taste? That is a good question. How could I... See, it's interesting because since I've just eaten that other one that kind of fell apart, this one here is not falling apart at all. So, yeah, it probably takes a little bit of time for the cookies to solidify so it won't fall apart. This one is completely intact, right? Oh. Remember when I said, is it going to taste milky? Is it going to taste milky? As the title of it. I find it does, because it's got like, it's, you know how when you go to a store, grocery store, and you buy chocolate chip cookies, even the ones that are like store made, like not processed, but they're still kind of that cold sort of taste to it. But here, it's not only because they're warm, but I do sort of taste that milky sort of taste to it, like that creamy sort of taste to it, and it's like kind of like a buttery sort of taste too, right? So it's like milky / buttery. So I definitely recommend these, right? I will definitely buy these again. My rating on maybe out of 5 stars, maybe I'll put it a 4 star, but 4 stars meaning pretty high, right? Because I don't hardly give anything 5 stars, right? Because then it has to be completely perfect, and nothing is really hardly ever perfect with me. Yeah, I highly recommend buying these Pillsbury milk chocolate chip cookies. 4 stars out of 5. So I'm going to wrap up this this video. So like I said, I thank you for watching my YouTube video. Thank you for watching all of my YouTube videos. And I do all types, like I said at the beginning of the video. And if you guys want me to post more YouTube videos of, you know, baking or whatever other type, it's important for me to know if there's interest, if there's demand, right? So on YouTube, the main indicator is your subscriber count, right? So I have to see my subscriber count going up, right? And so it has to go up to a certain number that I can say to myself, people are interested enough. I mean, anyone can watch a video, but when people are subscribed, that's telling me it's a whole different level, right? So I have to see that subscriber level count constantly increasing and getting to a satisfactory number that I can say, yeah, it's worth it for me to keep making videos because people are seriously interested. They're watching and they want more, right? So so if you want to see more YouTube videos of mine, if you want me to post more YouTube videos, make sure that you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, right? And there's also a notification bell on it. If you hit that notification bell and you pick the right options, the right settings on that notification screen, you'll know exactly. You'll get a notification as to exactly when I post a new video, right? The problem is a lot of people don't hit that notification bell, and then YouTubers they post videos, but people don't know that they've posted them, right? And you don't really want to watch a video that's too old because it becomes outdated, right? So yeah, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching. Peace out.